Caleb, let's go to the telly. I know you'll come off the long run on this. It's a raise to the bottom in Sydney street name stash. Victoria Bitter. This could quite conceivably be the front page of the week. Off with her head, or at least her name. Inner West councillors, intent on erasing Queen Victoria, want to rename the road named after her, Gumbramorra Road. Over to you.
Well, they'll soon be coming for Victoria Square in Adelaide as well, I'm sure. I mean, there's a pub up the road from Victoria Road, just where Victoria Road in Marrickville turns into Enmore Road, called the Vic, which actually happens to be quite a hipster pub, is frequented generally by all these left-wing types. It was very close to where I lived in Sydney for a little while last year, and they didn't seem to quibble about the fact that they were going into a pub that was named after this supposed oppressor, terrible for Indigenous people, etc., etc. You know, Victoria Road is a bit of a dump, really. It runs straight through the middle of the industrial part of Marrickville. It's not exactly the prettiest part of town, and so the worst thing it's probably got going for it is that Queen Victoria, which of course is quite a majestic figure, part of the monarchy, has a dumpy road named after her. I'm not sure whether she would be so appreciative of that. But for heaven's sake, I mean, what do we start doing? We've got to rename Woolloomooloo, I guess, because it's offensive to dyslexic people because they can't spell it. Most of Sydney, a large part of Sydney, is named after Aboriginal names, or suburbs have Aboriginal words. I mean, Maroubra, Chullora, Cronulla, the list goes on. A large portion of Sydney's suburbs are named after Aboriginal words or are derived from Aboriginal words. There is no shortage of Aboriginal recognition in Sydney. In fact, Manly is so named because it was decided by Philip that when he arrived, the mob at Manly, or what is now Manly, put up a fight. And so he said, well, these blokes are Manly. That's how the name came about. I mean, there is a strong history of Aboriginal recognition in Sydney. You know, there is strong recognition. And so to argue that calling a road Victoria Road is racist is just ridiculous. This kind of revisionism will be endless if this is the kind of thing we submit to. Everything will have to be renamed. I mean, possibly even the places that have Aboriginal names, because it'll turn out that the mob that Aboriginal suburb was named after did wrong on some other mob and they killed someone's father. You know, it just goes on and on and on and on and on. At some point we have to say, for God's sake, stop this crap.
I'm worried. I'm worried about Wentworth Park, the dog track. It'll be the next to go.